Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Brian Poduska. I'm Lyndon Wilson, the creator of The Difference. The Difference is a media platform created for small businesses and our communities to help bring some awareness and exposure to the hardworking small business owners, entrepreneurs, independent contractors that are around and doing so much for our communities, and giving them a platform and an opportunity to talk about their business and how they're making the difference. Brian Poduska with Real Property Management. He's going to be here in just a second. He is working on getting all the watch parties going. So I always come on, introduce him, and also let you guys know that we would really appreciate you if you would take a screenshot of this QR code, follow, like, and subscribe to Brian's social media. That really helps him, helps his show grow. If you do subscribe, just hit that notification button at the bottom, and that will let you know when his shows are live. Also, through the show, if you have any comments, you can leave your comment. It will appear here. And if you've got questions for our guests today, and we've got some good ones, then we can ask those questions, pass those along to them as well. And then whether it's a social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whatever it may be, we like I said, we do appreciate that. We appreciate all likes, comments, and shares. So I'm not sure if he's ready yet, but ready or not, Brian, here I come. I'm going to bring him in now. Good afternoon. How are you? Not much, man. Another day, another show. Just having a ball.
It's another day in paradise and a new year under new regime, and here we go. So I was still kind of jamming out to our intro music. So as I'm getting my watch party started. But happy to be here today. How are you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. As I told you before the show started, we're working on adding new shows all the time. We are anticipating within the next couple of months some big things happening with The Difference, which is good for everybody. It's good for all the show hosts. It's good for all the contributors. It's good for the communities that we're working so hard to make sure that we as small business owners are serving them well. So excited to be able to do that. And I feel kind of cheesy sometimes because I throw this out, but to make the difference any way we can.
Well, that's the idea, right? And
it is.
We are making a difference, and we talk about the things that make the difference. And we've talked about what we're looking to do going into the new year here, and that's really putting the spotlight on some local business owners and entrepreneurs locally here, with a larger overreaching theme of what entrepreneurship in general, what makes a difference in their businesses, and what makes a differences with their clients. So I don't think it's cheesy at all. It's all about what's the difference, right?
Well, it is. And I think it's really important that, one of the things I think we forget about, Brian, as small business owners, is that small business owners are consumers as well. And so sometimes we kind of get up against the hard spot as small business owners. We get overlooked by some of our political representatives as they're taking care of the big corporations. And, we get our businesses shut down due to COVID. And, I want to be able to remind everybody that small business owners are consumers. We need to support each other. We need to stick together, and we need to do what we can, again, to bring the awareness to our neighbors that are running these small businesses and struggling so hard to take care of their families, and then also take care of the people in their community. So what's been really cool is the friendships I think that we're all developing, and realizing that, hey, man, we all face the same battles. And if we stick together, if we kind of form a union, so to speak, or create some unity within us, I think that we can make it through the toughest times.
Well, I think the last year has been a testament to that, right? There's probably been no tougher times than what we faced in 2020, and what we're undoubtedly going to face at least for the next several months, if not longer. So, that's part of the reason I love doing the show and love the Difference families, because we've all come together and tried to figure out ways to adapt and change, and that we see it in this format that we're in right now, right? I mean,
Right.
we started under a different, still the difference and really kind of a broader theme, but we've evolved in different ways, both from we were in studio to start out, and now we're in our own separate studios and coming at you at a different way. But
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's
you just hit on something that I think we should all remember is we all started this, or most of us started this together back when it was a radio show. Things started happening. This format kind of took on a life of its own, and it's evolved itself, and we've adapted to what it's doing. COVID happened and we adapted, but I think what's helped us all, I know what's helped me, Brian, is being able to get with you guys and talk about what your perceptions are, what your ideas are, how we can do this better. And that's really what I hope that we can do with the small businesses, is realize that iron sharpens iron. If we are all giving our input, giving our insight, and trying to create a better community, whether it's a community of small business owners, whether it's a community, a suburb, or whatever it may be, we can make it through the tough times and come out ahead. One of the things that I've noticed is, some people, when COVID happened, 2008, when the market crashed, you've got two types of people. You got the ones that push through, and you got the ones that curl up in a ball. The ones that push through, one of the defining things that they have is they are surrounded with people that are helping them push through. It seems like the ones that curl up in a ball, and I'm not blaming them because, man, it can be overwhelming, but it seems like they don't have that support group. They don't have that person telling them one more day, one more hour, one more week, push through one more time, and it's going to get better. And sometimes it just becomes overwhelming, and that's a challenge.
No question. And really that's what we've done as a group is come together. And I appreciate this was kind of your brainchild as far as the difference goes. But when we first talked about it, I loved it and love the idea. And what I love about the way that we've done it is you have opened up that line of communication and really pushed us to say, what are our goals and how do we get better? So you've not only created the platform, but you've been really, like you mentioned, iron sharpens iron, right? You've been you've got a coaching history in football, which we've talked about on previous shows. That comes through a little bit as you're running this program, and you've pushed us to get better. And I think collectively we've come at you with some pretty cool ideas and some
absolutely
outside the box thinking, which has made, which some of it's still kind of, out there, but a lot of it we've implemented. And I think it's a testament to the group effort, what you put into it is what you get out of it. And yeah, we all make each other better.
I agree. And I really am thankful and grateful of all the contributions, the ideas, the thoughts, the reining me back in sometimes when I need it. I shouldn't say sometimes, a lot of times when I need it.
Well, we got to kick your ass quite a few times, but what comes around goes around.
I get in coach mode sometimes, man, and I'm pushing the limits. So
yeah. Well,
I don't want to keep our guests waiting too long. Tell everybody a little bit about Real Property Management, and then introduce your guest.
Yeah, no, thanks. So real quick on Real Property Management. If you've seen the show, you kind of know who we are, but we are a full service residential and small commercial property management company. So we specialize in working with investors, big, small, in between. Intentional investors are our primary clients who understand the value and don't want the hassle of managing their own real estate investments. So when I say full service, we are able to locate and purchase. We're a licensed real estate agent. We are able to locate, purchase those investment properties. Obviously, the management piece, so fill them with tenants, collect rent, do maintenance, handle evictions as necessary, and then on the back end, sell or dispose of your real estate property when you want out of it. And we've got some really awesome tools specific to real estate investing and investors to look at your one of your biggest investments, frankly, in most cases, at many different angles. So not just looking at cash flow of your property, but looking at the depreciation that you can take against that property to save some tax burden as you go across the years of ownership, as well as just market appreciation specific to that actual neighborhood that you're owning in. So I won't get into too much detail there, but that's us. We're a full service property management company. Check us out if you need property management help or even thinking about getting into the real estate investing pool. Anybody who has $100,000 or more of equity in their home, you're very well suited to do that. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity, most likely after Q1 of this year, but we'll see. The market's kind of squirrely right now, but there will be plenty of opportunity in 2021 to do that. So with that being said, I do want to bring on our guests today. I mentioned earlier our theme of 2021, at least the first half of which, it'll be for the whole year. And we'll have other themes as well, but we want to highlight and put the spotlight on local business owners and get them the opportunity to come on the show, talk about themselves, basically tell us who they are, tell the audience who they are so they get to know you, trust you, and eventually do business with you. Today we have Eric Brashears, who is the owner of Minuteman Press in Frisco. We also have Christine Dean, who has a pretty awesome moniker, the DFW Networking Diva. So we will bring them both on and say hello and then get into their lives and personalities and businesses. Hey guys, how's it going?
You like me. We're doing great. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us on the show today. Really appreciate that. And I've known both of you for a bit. Eric, I've known you a little bit longer. We've hung out in some of the same networking circles. We're in the same Master Networks chapter, and we've got other regular meetings that we attend, as well as outside of the office. So I'm glad to have you on the show today. You've got a great personality and a great character. You like to mix in a little fun with business, which is always entertaining and welcome. So thank you for joining us, Christine. I met you probably a couple months ago as part of Eric's networking group that he started up. So pleasure to have you on the show today, and really would love to hear more about your business and obviously what it can do for our audience, because it's a needed and very not natural skill for a lot of folks and business owners. So any sort of sharpening of that skill that you can offer to the business owners out there is great content. So with that being said, Eric, let's dive into you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Obviously you own Minuteman Press in Frisco. The title of the business speaks a little bit to what you do, but tell us what your business is, who it serves. But first, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into it.
Let's see. I got to Minuteman Press Frisco because I wanted to buy a franchise a few years ago. A business that is recession proof. I wanted a business that dealt in products that almost every business needs. And no matter what's happening politically in this country or economically in this country, people still need signage and printed materials and advertising, and that's just one of those things that is always going to be around, and so that's why I decided on a printing company.
Well, yeah. So not to interrupt, but branding obviously is a big deal. Whether it's your own personal branding, your business branding, you can't neglect one or the other, and they're both extremely powerful. So you mentioned signage, you mentioned print ads and things like that, and handouts and mailers and things like that. But you have a lot of other creative ways to get a brand name out there. I know I've reached out to you about branded golf balls in particular. So, like, I don't want to, just because you're a press, right? It's in your business title. You do a lot more than just stuff on paper. You do branding on all kinds of different things.
Yes, exactly. In fact, here's an example is, I think this is my payroll company, Payroll Vault. These are, handouts that he does for his customers. These are branded wine goblets or beer goblets, whatever your flavor is.
Always very important.
Hey,
Yes.
Brian, we got to get some more of those anyway, don't we?
No
Nine
doubt.
more to go.
Here's mine. So here's an example, right? We've got, let me see if I can get this in the camera here. We had these made for us when we launched the show. It's a branded wine glass that's it looks like it might be a little bigger than that one, which is important. But we've had a few mishaps with dishwashers and drops, so I still have mine, but we can't have enough of them.
Well, when you need more, I can take care of you, The other thing that we do is branded folders. So you've got branding on the inside and the outside of a presentation folder. And we did this for a luxury assisted living facility here in Frisco, over by the lake. And then, of course, branded envelopes with your return address on it. And this is something that I do for a lot of realtors. This is something I did just last week with a realtor, Deborah Eller. And she sold a house in a particular neighborhood. And then she's mailing this postcard in, canvassing that whole neighborhood so that people know who sold their neighbor's house. So that's a good example. And also branded calendars. This particular calendar is actually a tear-off scratch pad that you could have branded with your business. And you can hand them out as handouts to your customers or mail them. And then I have another friend of mine that has an insurance company that we are working on a magnet calendar that we're going to mail out to all of her existing customers as thank you. So
awesome. And I know I've heard of examples of you in the past. So those are good print examples and what I'll call their media. So the coffee cups and whatnot, but you've talked about large signage as well for restaurants like Now Open or grand opening and things like that you do that are branded as well. So you're not limited by, and you can see the one back,
Right.
in the back corner there.
In the background.
There you go.
behind me is actually a pull-up banner. It comes in a tube and you pull it up. And since so many things are in Zoom nowadays, I get a lot of requests from people to have a banner with their, image or branded or whatever behind them. So every time they Zoom, they're advertising their services instead of just having, how many people see people that in a Zoom that has a background of a beach or a waterfall? Okay, that's cute and everything, but why not brand your business every chance that you get, especially in a business networking group?
Drinking out of your cup.
Yeah.
Right. I need to improve this. This is my coffee cup. I need to get some branding on here, Eric. Can you help me out with that?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you another one really, really quick. That's one of the roofers. I do a lot of roofers. A particular roofing company has 14. I make 14-foot. They're called feather banners. And there's one kind of behind me, but it's not a good example because it's at a bad. Anyway, 14-foot banners with their logo on it. And what he does is whenever they're in a neighborhood doing a roof, they put these banners, one or two of them, out by the street. And it's out there for the couple of days or week or whatever construction's going on. And the owner of this company, Buddy Hull is his name, has told me that he has gotten more referrals and inquiries for his roofing business and remodeling business from that technique than anything else. So to answer your question about, signage and banners, that it does work. You just got to have what works for your type of business.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And it's funny you mentioned the roofer opportunity. We just last week we had Daniel Cook with DFW Roofing and restoration. Sorry, and Daniel just recently started his company. I'm going to put you guys in touch because that is fantastic. I know what you're talking about with those feather banners. They're tall, they kind of bend over a little bit, and yeah, they're pretty eye catching, and especially with that business in particular. For all the other roofers out there too, listen up to that, because as you guys know, it's all about just being seen and having a conversation. So whatever can start that conversation is something that could be invaluable. So for sure, no, that's an awesome example. Let me ask you this, and I don't know the answer to it, so I may be getting into a realm that you don't do. But do you handle or outsource car wraps?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
I don't do it myself in the store because I don't want to have a installer on staff here, but I do recommend a particular person that we funnel those types of jobs to, and he's never let us down. And I don't know if you want me to plug his name or not, but
Fire away.
yeah, his name is Mike Nosker.
Oh, Nosker, yeah.
Yeah.
Had I known that, I would have told you no, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, whatever, man. He's an awesome dude. He's got a great reputation, takes care of people. But yeah, I send any kind of wrap stuff to him, and as you know, he takes care of his customers. And so, yeah. Anyway, one of the I don't want to hijack your theme, but I wanted to point out to people how involved Minuteman Press Frisco is in the community. So if I'm going ahead of your thing, let me know and I'll shut up.
No, that's exactly what I want you to talk about, because like I said up front, right, we want to get local business owners on the show. We want you to talk about how you're interwoven in the community. Obviously, your business lends itself to promoting others in the local area here. I mean, you can go beyond that as well, but that is your bread and butter. That's your sweet spot. So, yeah, please, if you've got examples, or please share.
Well, I just wanted to say proudly that I'm a member of the Frisco Rotary Club. Rotary International is it's not a networking group. It's an international organization that raises funds for charity nonprofit organizations. Locally, there's several here locally that we help support, but also internationally. One of our hearts to serve or to contribute is water filters. So we gather funds and get up a certain amount of funds, and then we actually purchase water filters. They're sand-based water filters, and send those to villages and towns in different countries that don't have fresh water. And that's something that's been going on for years and years and years. But again, I would encourage people to look into Rotary International. There's one in Little Elm, and then one in Frisco, and pretty much any bigger town around. And get involved and find a way to give back, to use your blessings to help other people and other businesses. And then also, of course, I'm a member of the Frisco Chamber of Commerce. Recently, over the holidays, I partnered with the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and they did their annual business suit drive for veterans. And my store was one of the drop-off places for suits. So we gathered fresh, clean suits for veterans, and then I handed them over to the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and they did that. So that's just an example of how I feel a need to use my facility and my shop and my fortune to help out other individuals and other organizations.
And you've been involved in other things too, from the toy drives.
Mhm.
You've also a toy drive drop off for the Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're always involved in something in the community. He's really good about that.
Well, and the other, to be honest, what happens when you give back to the community is when a business owner needs printing or a flag or banner, they're going to want to do business with you because you're involved in the community. And
Absolutely.
they're doing it for the right reason, which is not for money. They're doing it because of, like you mentioned, people do business with who they know, they like, and they trust. And that's the proper way to do business.
Well, and we've talked about this on other shows as well. The philanthropic, angle of what makes the difference, right? So, we had a show dedicated last year on various things that we were all kind of doing, or ideas that we had that we're going to implement in the future. And I think you're exactly right. That is what makes the difference in so many ways, not just business, but more importantly, the larger community, the larger whole, larger humanity, right? And there's other shows on the Difference platform that have dove into a lot of some societal issues that are on a much larger scale that really have very little to do with business per se. But it's all interwoven. You can't separate one from the other, and it makes you feel better as a person, and makes you a better person, makes other people better people. And guess what? You're right. If you're doing business with folks that are like-minded and have that same mindset, it's a win-win-win. So
That's right. That's part of what the difference is about is we want to take these business owners and show the human side of them, that they're not just this commercialized business transactional person, that they are the ones that are involved within our community. They are the ones that are donating to these little league teams and doing different things that are events that can bring us all together and just, I hate to pull this off somebody else's show, but be a good human.
Yeah. So perfect. Thanks for sharing that, Eric. Looking at the time, just real quick, tell us personally who you are and how you got to Minuteman Press. I know you said you wanted to buy a franchise, and I know you've owned previous businesses as well. But just tell us. I know you're a family man. I know you've got a son that's my son's age, and luckily they don't play the same sport because they're both big kids. And my son plays hockey, and it could be a disastrous collision at some point if they're on opposing teams. But
are you trying to say that your son would whoop my son? Is that what's happening there?
I was actually going the other way. Is that you probably don't want to get hit by your son? Is what I was saying.
I'm just goofing around. But they are both big boys, and hockey's a tough sport, man. You got to be, or is it lacrosse?
No, it's hockey.
Hockey, yeah, you got to be tough to do that. I'm been married 25 years. In fact, in May it'll be 26 years. And we have one son, Jacob, and he goes to Lone Star High School. So not only did I insist on having my business in Frisco, I live in Frisco. My son goes to school in Frisco. I'm so ingrained in this town. I'm so proud to be a part of the community. Let's see. What else?
Well, you're part of the Frisco Chamber also.
Yeah.
So you're all about Frisco.
Yes.
Frisco, the same. Yeah,
Great chamber. Let's see. run this shop with minimal people. Luckily I have a staff of a couple of guys that I can rely on. I actually not only the owner, but I'm the delivery driver. I pick up the bulk paper orders that I get from my paper supplier in Addison, and then of course I'm the outside sales guy. So every hour of every business day is taken up with something, that circles back to what you were talking about at the start of entrepreneurs. We need to rely on each other to help us start the week every week on a good mindset, and we have to be our own cheerleaders, but then also interacting with other entrepreneurs on a regular basis is so important to keep your focus in running your business.
No doubt, no doubt. And yeah, you're living the entrepreneurial life when you're, what hat are you wearing at any given minute, not even a day, right? So, or hour. It's what hat are you wearing a half hour from now? Right now you're wearing the radio guest hat, but you're going to be wearing probably 10 different hats. So no, that is definitely the life of the entrepreneur. So no, thanks for sharing, Eric. And no, your business is fantastic. Your mindset is fantastic. Your heart's fantastic. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Awesome. My pleasure. In a minute, we're gonna move over to Christine as well. But before we do that, I want to talk about our sponsors for the next segment. They are our newest sponsors. So we've got Carrie Cook, DFW Realtor with Keller Williams. She is with the Cavalier Realty Group of Keller Williams. Her contact information is up there on the screen. You can reach her at 972-342-5763. A few things that we just want to talk about with Carrie, right? So she says, have you been debating selling your home? ? Did you know there are new builds in the Frisco area that aren't taking any new contracts because they're so far behind in building? Well, it's true. I've seen it myself. We are absolutely in a seller's market. Did you know the median sales price in Collin County year to date for December is $402,000, up 6.4% from 2019? Now, this market's been increasing for a bit, but 6.4% increase is fantastic, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. The average days on market is 48 days, up from 20.8% in 2019. So that's actually the number of days is actually down. The closed sales are up 10.2% from 2019, and new listings are down 8.8%. So what that basically boils down to, seller's market. So if you've at all been thinking about selling your home, the spring market is here. It really hasn't slowed down over the winter, but the spring is always hotter. So get in now. Don't wait until March or April or for the summer market. Call Carrie to find out what your home is worth and what she can do to specially market it. Carrie Cook is awesome. Check her out. Carrie Cook, Cavalier Realty Group, 972-342-5763. So that is Carrie. Please do check her out. She was on the show last week. She is fantastic to work with. She's very down to earth and very personable. So check out Carrie. If you're at all thinking about selling your home, she will give you a free market analysis and understand what your needs are and what your timelines look like. Next up, we've got her husband, Daniel Cook. I mentioned his business earlier. He is the owner and president of Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Now, Daniel has been in roofing for a bit, but he more recently started his own company, Cook DFW Roofing, really at the end of last year. And what I can tell you, I know Daniel very well. There's over 3,000 roofers in the DFW area, and that number almost seems to double every time there's a hailstorm. So you have to be careful with who you do business with. Daniel really goes above and beyond with his clientele. I'm going to give you a few bullet points that he wanted me to make sure that I conveyed. The materials that they use are top notch. He doesn't look for just profit. He's looking out for his clients when he's talking through the materials and walking them through what materials they're using to fix your roof. And they go beyond just roofs. They do restoration as well, exterior and interior. They offer more free upgrades than any other companies: shingles, underlayment, ice and water shield, ridge shingles, etc. They treat every project like it was their own home, not just another number as a customer. They take a lot of pride in having clear and consistent communication to make sure their customer is 100% involved and satisfied. They value your business and understand you guys have really 3,000 options. They strive to make sure that you are not only 100% satisfied, but 110 or more percent satisfied. They look at the entire property to make sure your claim is correct and get everything that you are entitled to with an insurance claim. And I can speak firsthand to that. I know several examples of what Daniel has done above and beyond what a typical roofer would do to make sure that claims are reviewed and optimized when you're getting the repair work done. So those are our newest sponsors. Thank you for letting me share some of their time, guys. With that, let's transfer over to Christine. Christine, thanks for joining the show today. I know you were kind of a last-minute addition when we spoke on speakerphone yesterday, but pleasure to have you on the show. I didn't know about all of the networking diva. That's a pretty cool moniker, right? So I did go out and check out your website. It's very pink, very diva-like. But it's very well put together, and the amount of services on there is fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your business and yourself and how you got into the business that you have, because I want to say, yeah, you're a networking diva, but that encompasses a lot of stuff. And if you check out your website, which is scrolling at the bottom, you'll see all the different services that Christine offers. So go ahead and tell us about yourself and your business.
Hi, I'm a mother of two, and I spent a lot of time raising those kids. I spent time teaching college communication courses. So I did a lot, and then I spent some time home with them. And then after you raise your children, then what do you do? So as a mom who's been home with her kids, I was like, wow, I guess I should go back into the workforce, but what am I going to do? And I started doing networking, and I absolutely fell in love with networking. And I found the more I sat down with people, the more I realized they needed help with their networking and they needed help with their marketing. So all my conversations seemed to focus on that. So I decided, well, apparently that's what I need to be doing. This is my calling. So it goes with my communications background. I coach the speech and debate team. So I've got lots of experience in that area. So now when I sit down with people, I'm like, how can I help you? And that's my favorite thing to do is, how can I help you? Tell me about your business. And I will give them recommendations and suggestions based on their particular business, their strengths, what they're trying to do with their business. And I love it. I absolutely love what I do. It's so much fun. So sometimes I might be coaching someone one-on-one on improving their networking skills. And other times I might be coaching a team. So maybe you've got a whole team of people that are needing help with their networking. And a lot of times they're familiar with sales, but they're not familiar with networking. It's a relationship building, which is a little bit different than just your standard sales. So that's a whole lot of fun. Or maybe I'm doing some kind of workshop on LinkedIn or Facebook. So what I do is all over the place because I love what I do. But mostly it's putting marketing plans together. So Eric handles the print, and I send all my print business to him. I handle the digital side of it. So if you have something that you want, you need a website, you need a landing page, you need a whole campaign. And that's one of the hard things for a lot of business owners is they're passionate about their whatever it is that they're focusing on, whether it's real estate or roofing, right? Like our sponsors for today. Whatever it is, they know about their business, but they don't know how to get the word out, right? And that's where Eric and I come in hand, right? So we can tell you what your possibilities are for print that might help, get the word out with your business or with promotional products, right? And I laugh because the mugs, right? The little things that help brand you and who you are, whether it's custom memes, right? Who's doing your social media? Do you have a social media plan? Are you just randomly throwing things up, or is there a purpose behind it, right? What are your goals? We like to say things like, oh, go to my website. Well, you're going to get lost of the website. You just said when you went to my website, there was a lot there, right?
No doubt about it.
And there's so
And it's
much,
pink, so it really kind of pops at you, right? So it,
but there's so much.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and you, I mean, you mentioned you held up the cup and you just, that's what they call an impression, right? So you can make impressions, media impressions, social media impressions, mail impressions, whatever. I in my past history, I worked for PepsiCo for a number of years, and in particular worked on the Gatorade brand, which was pretty awesome. I'm a sports guy, so it kind of gelled well with my personal passions as well. But just learning about that business and the marketing aspect of Gatorade, media impressions is absolutely measured and absolutely emphasized, and every activity that brand does is all about the media impressions, and getting it in front of athletes and all ages and all of all types. So you're exactly right. The media impressions is fantastic, and you guys have a nice partnership in that. You offer the digital side. Eric offers the physical print side, and various different other mediums. But yeah, that's and a lot of folks get into and start their business because they're passionate about it, right? As well they should. And just because you're passionate about something, and you may be a good salesperson, you may be a good, whatever your trade is, but you may not be a good networker or marketer. You've just never had the formal training. To some people, it comes very naturally. To others, it's a little bit more of a struggle. And there, there's folks across the spectrum. You can tell some folks that, and I know several in marketing or in networking groups that, they're like, I hated it up front because I never had given a 30-second elevator speech or, whatever the format may be. But then they're like, oh, this isn't so hard. And then their personality comes out, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, now you really get to know, as you said, Eric, know, like, and trust somebody, right? So it is a skill that's essential. And for folks that aren't either aware of it or very good at it, that service that you provide is, like I said, essential and necessary in growing your business.
Absolutely. If you want to build relationships, right? And every time we interact with somebody, we're branding ourselves, we're branding our company, right? So every opportunity, you want to put that best foot forward, whether it's in print, whether it's in media, whether it's in your face-to-face interactions or your online networking. So all of that all ties together in the success of your business. So I like to help business owners succeed. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. It's a passion of mine, and connecting people. Like, I recently started a newsletter where I'm letting people know about networking opportunities in the area. And some of them are online, some of them are in person, but that's one of my outlets. Is I'll usually offer some networking advice, some marketing advice, some branding advice, technology automation options, things like that. This way, kind of help the small business owners and the entrepreneurs really see what their options are for getting out there and promoting their businesses. So that's a free service that I offer every week through my newsletter.
And yeah, I've seen your newsletter. It's very all encompassing, and there's a ton of information and events and things like that are included in there. So that's fantastic. If you look at Christine's website, she also has the ability to just have consultation calls, right? So, it's as easy as going into the link of setting it up. It's linked directly to your calendar. And I don't want to speak for you. But it looked like most of those upfront consultations are free. So just tell us a little bit about that, so people know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I like doing free consultations. So even if you walk in, you've got me for that time period, I give you some suggestions and you want to run off with it and make it happen, that's great. If you want to hire me to help create your whole marketing plan, that's fine. If you want me to coach you on how to do it yourself, I can do that. Or if you say, you know what, this is more than I want to handle, I'm going to outsource that to you, then I can handle that for you. But I love doing consultations. I just like to see people succeed. And so if I can help with that and succeed and bring people together, that's important.
Christine, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the biggest social media mistake you see most business owners making?
You want just one?
I want the biggest. I want the most popular.
Yeah. a lot of people don't have any training in marketing at all. So when they post something up, we don't always know why or how it's relevant. And posting in a way and sharing information in a way that lets your audience know what's relevant to them rather than just you, right? Taking it from the audience perspective, what's the most important thing that your audience is going to want to know about whatever it is you want to talk about, and focus on that, right? And a lot of times you'll see a post like, I'm here, it's great. Okay, you're where? Great about it. So, just give us enough details to grab our attention. And it's amazing how many people don't even do that in their postings, right? So when it comes to social media, say something that's going to grab your audience attention. Otherwise, they're going to just scroll right past you.
That's good advice.
Centered.
Okay, so what's the second biggest? Because I think I have an idea, but I want to hear what
well, you make me narrow it down. I mean, there's so many different options. Right now, one of the big things is making sure that you are actively posting. Okay, because right now it's COVID. Businesses are going out of business and they're doing reduced hours. They're not as available. So make sure you're posting at least once a week so people know that you are alive and well and open for business. If nothing else, at least do that, right? Because otherwise, if you haven't posted for 3 months, they're like, are they even in business?
Right.
Right. So that's huge.
Good stuff.
No, that is awesome. So thank you for sharing that background about your company and what services you offer. Tell us a little bit of. So it sounds like your history is in communications and debate, and you taught in college classes as well.
Right. Yeah, I was teaching in college, and so I love that. I love the enthusiasm, and that's the thing. Going into a straight corporate job, I think I would have a hard time with that. I worked with students that are college students, and they're always excited about things that are going on. Their futures are so bright, and that enthusiasm. And the only other place I ever found that was networking and entrepreneurs and small business owners. They have that same kind of enthusiasm for their businesses and wanting to succeed and wanting to help other people and wanting to work with the community. And I love that. There is nothing like that positive attitude because you can't find that anywhere else.
That's an awesome point. I never really thought about it like that, but that is awesome because I've been in the corporate world, and when you're working, for lack of a better term, you're working for the man, right? You don't necessarily, you're passionate about what you do, and like I said, I worked on Gatorade. I was passionate about that brand. It was, I love that aspect of it. But at the end of the day, you're still working for somebody else. Whereas as an entrepreneur, you're not, and you have the opportunity to go out into the community and make a difference. Some corporations are better at that than others, but at the same time, you're still not representing yourself and what you necessarily believe in and are truly passionate about. You're representing whatever corporation you're working for in the community. But as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you can pick and choose those venues and support things that you want to support and things like that, and how you want to do it. Whereas if you're doing it through, as an employee of a larger corporation, you're kind of prescribed certain things that you may or may not be able to or want to participate in, right? So you're right. The freedom of owning your own business in many different aspects is fantastic, but that's a great point because it really does amp up the energy level of anybody who you're talking to. And when networking is mostly, at least the groups that I've been part of, are mostly business owners that are mostly local, that are truly passionate about their business and truly want to know about what you do and how the people who do it the right way, are those that don't necessarily look for business that you can do directly together. It's more, who can I connect you with and who can I bring into the circles to make those connections? Now, if we have business to do together, that's even better. But it's one of those that it's like, hey, if you're doing it right and you can tell who those people are, that's high energy, and that's probably a pretty darn fun environment to work in on a day out basis.
It is, and so one of my side hustles is the Dallas, if you're familiar with the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce, we just started up this last summer, and I just saw Chris Smith wave and say hi. He's one of our colleagues that's on the leadership team. So I do the marketing director for that. And so I get the opportunity to work with all these motivated veterans that have small businesses, and it is absolutely exciting. So being able to connect them with the community and what's going on and help them promote their businesses, so much fun. I love what I do. Absolutely love it.
Well, that's an awesome group to work with. Veterans in general is fantastic. We have a sponsor with the Difference, Creek and Timber Legacy, that also has, for the most part, veterans or initial responders as the beneficiaries of that charity. So, no, that's one that hits home and near and dear to the Difference. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, my oldest son's in California working for IBM, working for the man, right? But my youngest one is actually in the Air Force, and so big patriot, passionate about it, and so I love helping with that. So send me your veterans; I want to meet them.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, thank you again for providing the background on yourself, your business. Hopefully, you saw the scroll at the bottom, but. DFWmarketingdiva.com. I believe that's your website. Is that correct?
It's one of them. DFW Networking Diva also.
Yeah.
I have both.
If you want to get on her calendar, that's one way to do it, because I've gone in there and done it myself. So
welcome for a free consultation.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks guys for being on the show. I do want to make sure that I mention one of our other sponsors who has also been a guest on the show. His name is Greg Holdberg. There's his information. Greg is the owner of Liberator Health Insurance. They are an awesome alternative choice to your government marketplace options. And what, I'll go through some of the bullet points here, but really what differentiates Liberator is the ability to kind of pave your own way and make your own choices as far as doctor services, even negotiating. If you're into negotiating, you can negotiate your own rates very easily. So it incorporates that aspect. If you like saving money, this is a great plan. So Liberator Health Insurance has plans that allow you to see any doctor, go to any hospital, in or out of network. You can save literally 40 to 60% on your premiums. Greg highlights a deal every week. The deal of the week this week is a single woman, 34 years old, just $177 per month for great coverage, including dental. I mean, come on, people, that is ridiculously low. So you can see there on the screen all the different things that the PPO provider network covers. So hospitalization, surgeries, I won't go down the list, but pretty much any sort of care that you would need, it's covered. And as an independent broker agency, Liberator and Greg, they work with some of the best insurance carriers in the industry, and they get you the most coverage at literally the most affordable monthly premium. So in order to get a hold of Greg, his information there is scrolling at the bottom as well. But you can get a quick quote by giving him a call or text. His name, again, Greg Holdberg, independent health insurance broker, at 214-886-4688, or visit him on his website at www.liberatorhealthinsurance.com. Awesome. All right. So,
hey, Brian,
I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. Like I said, what we're trying to do in my show and across the Difference is really promote local business owners, entrepreneurs. That is our bread and butter audience, are the business owners and entrepreneurs, along with realtors and real estate agents out there, real estate brokers. So you guys fit very well. And when we talked earlier the week about the opportunity, Eric, I'm like, this is it. You got to do it. So you were more than happy to come on the show. So I appreciate that. Christine, you were a very late addition, and I really appreciate you coming on the show. Again, fits very well with our target audience. If you need printing, if you need help with your networking,
we do branded pens.
with branding. So you guys are all about branding. It's just different venues and media ways to do so. Look at this. We got helpers coming in giving props. It's like
Hey, Brian,
right here.
Brian, I've got a quick question for Eric. So I have my question for Christine. Eric, here's your question. What is the most popular marketing item that you sell? Coffee cup.
Well, actually, I don't have one with me, but it's a mask. Everybody has got to wear a mask all over the place. Call it tyranny, call it whatever, but you got to. It's just a fact of life now. And so if you're walking around Costco or where Target or wherever, and you got to wear a mask, why not have one with your brand on it? And I'm
Great idea.
that I don't have one to show, but I wear my Minuteman Press mask. It's a 3-layer mask. It has adjustable ear loops, and it's double-sided. So like me, I drink coffee all the time. So if I have a coffee stain on one side of the mask, I just flip it over, put it on, and then I can go and talk to the business owner or whatever. And so that's the number one product right now. It's a hot seller, and I have a very good pricing on it. And I've done insurance companies. If you've got a staff of people in your office that you want to have all, the same branded mask or hand them out just like a business card. By the way, I do business cards. I do awesome business cards. So that answers your question.
That's awesome. Good stuff.
That's what's called adapting with the times, right? Taking advantage of a bad situation and yeah, I like it. That's creative.
So I need to get one for real property management.
I'm on it. I love it. Awesome. Well, hey, any other questions, Landon?
No, I'm good. Great
Okay.
show today. Great guest, Eric, Christine. It was great meeting you. Hope to talk again soon. I've got some questions for both of you.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're up against it on the time here, but once again, thanks all for watching the show. Thanks to my guests. Thanks to my sponsors. I really appreciate your guys' support, and we will see you guys next Thursday, 1 p.m. See you guys.